Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Magical Creators Online Summit. And today's guest is Marcia O'Regan. And Marcia is not just exceptional specialist in her field. She is a dear friend, and I'm so privileged and happy and humbled that Marcia is also one of our core speakers at Magical Creators Live event. And the sessions that she delivered in the past event made everyone speechless, and the shift that happened in the room was palpable. And you are for a treat today, because Marcia will lead us through the healing process that you can experience, and you can do it day in and day out afterwards. So Marcia, can you please introduce yourself and tell a little bit of your background?
Yeah. So I'm Marcia O'Regan, and I'm from Ireland and moved back to Ireland in August last year to really go to the next level of my soul's calling. So my soul's calling really is to free women from limitation in any form, money consciousness, upgrading their money consciousness, getting healing, shame, guilt, not good enough, sacrifice, all those aspects that I find women do, and really to love themselves enough to say yes, to say yes to themselves, to say yes to the calling, to the whispers of the soul, and step into that greatness. And I have been working, my tool really is colour, and I got introduced to working with colour about maybe 15 or 16 years ago when I had severe stomach problems, and I went to lots of different consultants, and they said, live with it. And I actually went to see a kinesiologist, and he said to me, have you ever heard of colour therapy? Because he said, all I see around you is colour. And then a friend of mine, that's the divine kind of taking over, sent me, I was living in London at the time, sent me a letter listing all these therapies that she wanted to train in. And so when the information came in, one of them was colour, and I read it and I was like, oh my God, this speaks to me. So I started the course, and within 6 weeks, no more stomach problems. And my life literally started. In 5 months, I had bought a car, changed jobs, bought a flat that I'd spent 14 years talking about. And really, it's from there I have, this is what's brought me to where I am today, by really, really working with the power of energy, colour, goddess Isis, and all these other unseen beings that can really, really help us.
So why do you think we have, problems with raising our vibration, raising wealth consciousness? So what do you see, like in your clients, what's stopping us from being incredibly wealthy?
Because of the there's two kind of fold really. The first of all is the projections of and the limitations that have been put on all of us through society, through culture. And what I got guided, and I was like, oh my God, sometimes the guidance comes in, it's just like, gee, it's so good. And what I was told by my guides is that like a tap, they came here and gave me a tap on my shoulder and went, you do know that culture has the word cult in it. And I was like, oh my God. And so and it's like, it's this thing like, this is how we do things around here. And it's also got to look to, if you also look at the systems, the political system, the financial institutions, it's all about the have and have nots. And it's like, it's not true. The truth, and even religion as well, it's just like, it is not true. Your natural state of being is abundance. Lack is not your natural state of being. And the greatest teacher really for us all is to look in nature. Nature is always every year, and even if it falls, you can see the leaves, the flowers falling every year. Do you look at the elegance of how they just let go and drop? Because they know that in a few months' time, they're going to multiply. All the fruits on the trees, all the flowers, they're constantly multiplying. So this is what we have to come back to, is our sense of self. And so then the other aspect, I think, in relation to our, why we're not, like, what are the blocks? And the blocks are, you know what? Some things, the very thing we want is the very thing that we fear we'll have. And that's a conflict. And I'll tell you why that is. What I'm seeing a lot more, mainly in women than men, is that if we want this success, let's say you want let's say you want to go to, I don't know, let's say 100,000 or 500,000. Let's go 500,000, right? And you really, really want this, but there's a part of you that I can guarantee is afraid that you're going to lose something to have it. You're going to maybe not spend enough time with your children. Your husband might or wife might feel threatened. You won't have time for this. So on an unconscious level, you fear what you desire. And once you get into that and make peace with that part of you and acknowledge, I think the biggest thing is to take the time to sit with the feeling and say, come over here to me now, my little darling of fear. And we're going to have a good long look at each other, and we're going to say, what are you here to tell me? And what you'll see, there's a program, I can't remember the name of the program. My kids watch this program, and there's this nasty guy, and he has a butterfly, and he takes a butterfly and he transforms it into a really dark energy, and it's sent off. And this what is she called? Ladybug. That's what it is, Ladybug. So Ladybug then comes along and she transforms everything. And then this woman, these people that he's programmed to be nasty, she goes in and she takes the butterfly and she transforms the butterfly into beautiful white butterflies and said, I set you free. And I thought, what a beautiful analogy. And this is what we're here to do. It's just like, you know what? You're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. You're not taking from anybody. You are going to enhance yourself, your life, the people around you, and also people will want to be in your company. I'm like, oh my God, I always feel so good when I come away from you, or I don't know, there just is that richness, and richness is about money, but it's having the money and the joy and the fulfillment and the courage and the beauty. It's really including the end of everything, because I have known people, I've had people come to me who are millionaires and they're not happy inside. But when they do the inner work and they're thinking, you've already got the wealth, now we're going to get you to feel wealthy inside, then it's just the most magical and honoring experience to see someone where they are in this inner conflict, to then suddenly open up into this butterfly. And it's just like, this is what we're wanting, because by osmosis, the more inner work that we do on ourselves and the less projections that we put on ourselves and others, and just say that everything I want is already here, then it is already here. It's just that it can't come to you.
And I think you touched an interesting point. So whether you're already wealthy in terms of you have money, or you suddenly manifested a lot of wealth, and if your internal being is not aligned with that status, you either lose or you feel disconnected and you're not whole. That's why it's important to do the internal work.
Yes, and I think too, they have said that the statistics of people who have won the lotto, won millions, they've actually within 3 years have lost all of that money. And the thing is also that I had a realization yesterday when I was walking the dog, and I thought, everybody wants, you're looking at someone that I really admire is Rachel Hollis. I'm like, oh, she's amazing. But actually, she didn't get that overnight. And so you start off, when I look at myself, when I started off, training as a colour therapist, and then I went to, a year later, I actually trained colour therapists. I did the training course, and I went to Ireland to train colour therapists. And I was learning around how energy works. I was learning by doing, because you can only learn by experiencing. You can know it all you like, but it's of no earthly use unless you're actually using what you know. And then as time went on, I started doing one-on-one sessions, and then I started doing workshops and retreats. And over the last 15 years, I am just now moving into my master. I can actually say I am a master healer, where I can literally speak with someone. You can give me somebody's name and I'll tune into their energy immediately. And they're like, how do you know that about that person? I was like, I am completely connected. I'm a master healer. And I just seem to know, because it's coming through me, but I have done all the work behind the scenes. You've been amazing for me as well, Inga, around, helping me get my message, doing the regular Facebook lives, doing the regular showing up. And it's just like, and Inga's patience as well, because there's resistance that comes in me, and she's like, she can pick it out of me like that. So it's like, that's the other thing. We can't do it alone. I could not do the work that I do without having Inga in my life. And I met you, Inga, on a high-end coaching program, and 3 other soul sisters that I just couldn't do the work without them in my life. And so I feel it's like giving yourself the gift of stepping into the unknown, because in anyone, what you know now, it's already changed. The frequency, if you were to measure that quantum frequency, it's already changed to something else. So the more that you can be in the present moment and know deep inside that your truth is that you are worthy and deserving of incredible wealth, because when money is in your hands, you're going to do good with it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for these kind words, and I feel the same way about you. And before we do a healing session, like 10 minutes healing session, I wanted to ask, like, how exactly you work with your clients, if you can give an example. So when somebody comes to you,
So when someone comes to me, firstly, I don't work with anybody until I have a breakthrough call with them, right? So in that breakthrough call, I tune in. I call in my guides, I call in their guides. I create a sacred space, and I just ask to show both of us what is their next step. And the thing is what I have found, maybe 1 in 3 cases, people say, yeah, I want to. And some people also want to work with me. And I've said, I can't work with you because they're not willing to do the work. Now, do the work being showing up, going, sometimes we've got to go to that discomfort. And also it's got to do with divine timing. I've had people to say, I would say, you need to do this first, then come back, and then we're going to tune in again. And so in my work, what I'm able to do is I'm channeling, really. I connect with my guides, and Goddess Isis would be a very strong goddess that I'm working with. And she, just to give you a little bit of history about her, she is an Egyptian goddess, and her husband was killed by his brother due to jealousy. And the power of her goddess, and she is the ancient divine feminine goddess for women, and she brought her husband back to life, and then they had a baby called Horus. And so this guide here that I'm working with, she really is about claiming your power and believing that you can do anything that you desire. You just have to get out of your own way and keep focusing on what you desire and more, and not focusing on the obstacles. So I have this ability to be able to tune in to past lives, to, it could be birth trauma, because we take on the thoughts, feelings, emotions of our parents when we're in the womb. It can be, it's all these unseen blocks, programs, vows from past lives that are actually still active in our cellular memory, and I'm able to see them through my third eye and remove them. And I go in, I heal on the cellular level. So I go into the energy of it. I ask what the color is. I transform that. And there's always a lesson in what we're experiencing. And then I up level it to a whole new frequency. And people then, what's happening is that like they've taken off the old clothes and they're going to put on other clothes. And they're like, oh my God, I feel totally different. And what happens then is they experience something totally different. So it's kind of like building blocks.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So let us experience this feeling working with you as well. And you're going to take us through a healing session to raise our wealth consciousness.
Yeah.
If we can do it like 10 minutes long.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm going to say as well is that I just want to give a little snippet about money. So money was channeled to me, the spiritual truth about money was channeled to me about 3 years ago. And what you need to know about money is that money is an energy. And energy can never be destroyed, it can only be transformed. So if you're saying that I don't have enough money, that is not true, because there is always more money where that came from. The thing is that what do you have to do? Who do you have to be the person that has whatever amount of money that you desire, and start showing up this very second from that place? So what I'll do now is we'll go in and we'll tune into your current wealth consciousness, and then we'll do a little upgrade to a higher level frequency. So I want you to take a breath in, and on the out breath, surrender. I want you to take another breath in. And I want you on this out breath, I want you to let go of any and all of other people's energies that are not yours. Because we are influenced by our environment and the people we come into connection with. And so we just need to make sure that your energy is clear. Taking another breath in, and I want you to come back into your heart. You are your heart. Your soul lives in your heart. And put your hand on your heart and go, I honor myself. I love myself. I respect myself. And I want you to really, really be present with yourself. Now I want you to feel this pull of energy from your heart down into your solar plexus, your sacral, your hips, your legs, your feet, down into the floor, through the rocks and lava, and down into the heart of Mother Earth, where your heart and her heart come together as one. And you feel your heartbeat beating at the same rhythm as Mother Earth, in harmony with her. And any resistance starts to fall away right now. Just dropping away without you having to do anything. It's just falling away. Just like the leaves fall from the tree in its own and divine perfect order. Now we're going to call in pure absolute divine love of the highest consciousness. Pour down this beautiful golden light, to pour down into the crown of your head and right through your whole body. Down into your feet, down into the floor, through the rocks and lava, and down into the heart of Mother Earth. And you are now fully anchored and fully connected and fully embodied into divine and earth consciousness at the same time. There is no separation. You are no longer denied. You are at one. You are at one with the divine, with all of the divine, the earth and the sky. And now I want you to, we're going to tune in, I'm going to call in all of your guides. I'm going to call in Goddess Isis, Mother Mary, Divine Father, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, all of your guides, your archangels, your guardian angels. And now I'm going to get you to tune in. We're going to ask, please give us the frequency or the level of wealth consciousness that you are currently at without judgment. 10 being you are very abundant, you are completely fulfilled, you are feeling ecstatic. And 0 going, you're struggling very much, you don't have enough this, enough that. So whatever that number is, the first number that comes in, and I want you to see, where does that resonate in your body or your energy? What color does it represent? And I really want you to acknowledge it and thank it for being here. Thank you for experiencing this level of wealth consciousness, because you have learned so much. And now I want you to blow out from your whatever area of your body, but out through your mouth, the color and the feeling. Out through your mouth, it's going through a divine filter, and it's being transformed into pure divine love, light, truth, and wisdom. And the divine is taking it up. I set you free. I am free. One more blowing out. And now you don't have that anymore. What would you have instead? What is the feeling of the kind of wealth that you love to be experiencing, that you would feel that, yeah, that's possible. And just start imagining how you're waking up, what you're doing with your time, where you're going, what your experience is, and the color that represents. And I want you to anchor, I want you to breathe and anchor that color and that feeling into that area of your body that you've been working with. It's going through every cell, every atom, every organ, every layer of your skin. Into your energy, into the room you're in, the home you're in, the street you're in, the country you're in, and out through the whole wide world. And I want you to tune in on a scale of 0 to 10. Where are you now in your wealth consciousness thermometer? And ideally, you need to be an 8 or above. I mean, it'd be great if you were at 10, but if you got to an 8, your experience, I mean, that is, you really are in the high end of the wealth consciousness. That is incredible. You're going to have amazing experiences. And now I'm just going to pull a card to close this healing. It's a message and an activation that's now going to happen for you. Just staying in the energy now, just allowing that to go deep within your psyche. Oh, the Temple of Carnelian. Now, Sekhmet is coming in here, and Sekhmet is an extremely, extremely powerful being, okay? So now we're just going to, we're going to say this invocation in tuning into the energy to overcome any fear that's holding you back, any fear or doubt that you could imagine that's holding you back from the wealth that you are now anchored into. Repeat after me. Sekhmet, who loves me unconditionally. Brave, bright as fire. Bold bold as can be. Bless this situation with your healing power. Do it now, this every hour. I offer you love and gratitude from my heart as you liberate me from this trouble dark. Sekhmet, who loves me with passion and might, you assist me now with your eternal fire bright. Take a deep breath and release. And the message here is that it's time to trust in your own boldness and courage to live from the frequency of wealth that you have now been given. Cross your hand over your knees to ground and anchor that in. Stay true to your heart.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Marcia.